So if you're looking to advertise, or if you have a small business and you're looking to drive traffic to your store, check out ESPN 104.3 with Coach James Hale Show. I've been working with them for 7 years. They've driven a lot of traffic to my business. I get people all the time in my store that say, hey, I've heard you're on the radio. It's one thing to advertise on the radio where people may hear it. It's another thing to be able to come on, talk to your customers directly. It's just one of the best form of advertising that I did, and I've gotten great returns off of it. So if you're looking for some form of advertisement to drive traffic, check out Coach Hale Show on ESPN. Contact Coach Hale, and he'll hook you up and get you started in the right direction and get you a lot more business.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468. 850-215-4468.
GSX Lynn WFIeld Fort St. John, powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What time it is? It's 4 o'clock and it's a Friday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your place for all live and local sports on the Panhandle. We're live right here in the CBC Construction Studios, and we're pumped up and ready to go on this Friday. We have made it to the weekend. At least some of us have, not everybody yet. So either way, we're pumped up. If you want to be a part of the show, you can be. All you got to do is text in or call in to the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Me and Bone Crusher in the building today. Bone Crusher, good to see you.
Hey.
All right, man, good to have you. And local. You know what? I'm going to do it. I know you probably ain't going to like it. Local star, local celebrity. We're glad and honored to have with us Mr. Cooper Moss in the building. How you doing, Cooper?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
You are very welcome. And, man, I'm, excited to have you. Glad that you were able to come and be a part of it. I know you're with your mom and dad for Christmas holidays. Florida said, you know what, you guys can go on home and spend some time with your family. So let's talk about it. Man, University of Florida, a real Gator drinks Gatorade. He's got his Gatorade with us today. Cooper, how's it been going?
It's been awesome. It's definitely a humbling experience, just a fun journey. It has been. I moved in about mid-June, and ever since then, I've gotten so much better. I've met so many more people. It's just an amazing experience being down there. Obviously, being away from home, it has its pros and cons for sure, but I love, the grind that it is and everything that goes with it.
So let me ask you, because a lot of moms and dads listening right now probably, do you miss your mom more or do you miss your dad more? Like, tell the truth. Come on.
I don't know if I can answer that question. I miss them both just equally. It's fun, coming back home just to see them and my sister as well. But they've gotten a lot of opportunities to go down to Gainesville to see me as well. So it's been fun. It's definitely, our time together is more valuable. I think kind of just being away, out of the house, it's definitely different. But when we do see each other, I think our time is a lot more valuable for sure.
Isn't that funny? Because now you're actually seeing it. Like I didn't have to go off far to college myself when I was playing college basketball, but isn't it crazy how when you look back at all the times that you were home and what you took for granted and the things that you took for granted, especially like with your mom, like coming in and having stuff. And now, obviously you guys, they take care of you with food and all that. But, those late night meals that mom used to cook, or maybe she did,
There's
still not
There's
there.
no crock pot meals anymore. So it's definitely it's a different experience for sure. But it's giving me the opportunity to learn how to live by yourself and with a bunch of roommates as well. So it's been I've learned a lot for sure.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: give us a rundown of kind of what y'all have been doing, and tell us kind of where you are in the spot of all of this going on right now in Florida.
Yeah, I'll start from the beginning. I moved in about mid-June. Just the freshmen that played baseball there moved into our dorms, and it was just a freshman kind of baseball experience till it was August when the fall started. So it was really good. It was 10, one got drafted, so us 9. So it was really fun just to learn about everyone and just the freshmen there. We worked out Monday through Friday, and we got weekends off. So that's when we started throwing, and then position players started to hit and everything like that. And then I came home for about a week, and fall ball started. And then that was kind of just Monday through Friday, weekends too. It's definitely been a grind. But it's been so much fun. I met so many more people, and definitely with the team we have this year, definitely really talented.
So that fall ball deal, kind of let us know how that is. Do y'all play other colleges at this time, and do y'all travel, or is it kind of a local? How does that work?
We played JU in Jacksonville at the Jumbo Shrimp, and then we played Georgia Southern at home.
Okay.
And then everything else, we scrimmaged almost every day.
Yeah.
Ourselves. So it was really good getting a lot of innings. Everyone, see what everyone has. And that it's just to see how talented the team really is.
Isn't it crazy? Because obviously you were a senior last year, you watched Florida, and then there's still guys there that you watched, and so how does that feel now that you're going in and competing against these guys that you were pulling for? Because obviously when you got the inter squad, you want to do well.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, there's people like Liam Peterson, probably a top 15 pick this year. Used to watch him he was a freshman, he pitched in Omaha my sophomore year, but that was his freshman year. So just watching those guys and just being around those guys every day has made me such a better athlete. And then, got like Cade Curlin, who he hits the ball so well. Then you're facing him in inter squads every other day. So just facing those just elite athletes, top tier athletes, really made me a better just athlete.
So as far as the weight training goes and as far as that part of it, and then nutrition, so has it changed much from when you were here to now? Do they have you on a strenuous type of protein diets and that kind of stuff? Do they have that going on?
Yes, sir. We have a nutritionist on staff. Her name's Julia, so she really points us in the right direction on what foods to eat, depending if you want to lose weight, gain weight in certain areas. She's been really good, just kind of just pinpointing on what you want to do and kind of what will make you a better athlete. And over the summer, we have something called DEXA scans, and I lost 9 pounds body fat. So I think that was really good for me. That was one of my goals going into the fall, was just kind of slim up a little bit, just become more mobile, and that's what happened. I think part of the nutrition was the biggest part of it.
Yeah. Now, have you gotten any taller?
A lot of people said that, but I don't know.
I don't know. When you walked in, I don't know if you got some brand new shoes and your soles are making.
I've heard that a lot, but I think I'm the same. I mean, I would hope I'm a little bit taller, but I'm still standing around 6'3". So.
Okay, so about 6'3". And what's your weight now?
I'm 220.
220.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
220. I got there about 230, 231. And then at the end of fall, I was around 219, 220.
Okay. And so they're putting you on the weight room too?
Oh, yeah. It's legit. I mean, everyone in there's it was definitely a humbling experience going in there, and everyone's just so strong. Even people that don't even look, they can throw weight around like that. It's been really fun just to be in the weight room. Everyone just getting after it Monday through Friday, early in the morning. And it's a really fun just environment we have.
So as far as, and sorry for the elementary questions, but I want people to understand what it takes to be a top, at a top-notch Division I college, especially like Florida, who's in the mix every year. What was the hardest thing about being there? That you just was like, man, this is just your biggest struggle of being there at Florida, maybe with something that they made you do, or the early mornings, or the running, or the lifting. What's the hardest part about being a Gator right now to you?
I think comparison. I think you get there and, you aren't, it's a lot different than high school ball, and you start unfortunately, you start comparing yourself, to everyone there. And I know mentally it's not good, but it's just, everyone's just so good there. And then you kind of get, mentally, like, everything, like, okay, that guy's really good, or my stuff plays better than him, or stuff like that. So I went through that a little bit. First couple weeks in the fall, but it was so good for me because I got to experience that, and then now mentally I'm in such a better place, just knowing that my stuff competes at a level like that. Everyone does. We're there for a reason. They recruited me for a reason. Everyone's there for a reason, and it's for your stuff to be able to compete against everyone else in the SEC.
And see, that's really, I'm so glad that you were open and honest about that, because that's really, because even kids, and you played travel ball growing up, and then you went to the high school level, and like you said, it was different because, you were well known. People, talked about you, and they should. And then you go somewhere where you're not the big fish in the little pond, so to speak, and start seeing that, and it starts weighing on your mind, and that's really good. And I agree with you. I think that's where people have to be, because, if you always are the best or always considered the best, then you don't have anywhere to work up to. That's really good. So what was the easiest part about it? Like, because obviously you worked hard here. You go over to Hess Sports Performance and go over there with Ethan and those guys. So you do work out, but what was the easiest part that you didn't think was going to be easy, but it ended up being easy?
I'll say something that's very convenient is the dining hall. Our apartments are literally right outside the Heavener, the dining hall we have there. So we have no excuse to skip a meal or anything like that. It's open Monday through Friday, 3 meals a day, and it's that, in terms of easiness or just conveniency, it's right there. It's right at your hands. So I think, and everyone, I really love food, so obviously I spend a lot of time there, and it's really just very convenient just to be there and get all your meals in and everything like that.
So do they have soft serve ice cream in there or anything like that? Because I'd be killing it.
On Fridays they do. Fridays at night we have an ice cream bar, and you can. There's just so much stuff you can have.
Oh man. So, that would be the thing. Wait, because what does it have? Do they have certain hours that they stay open and close?
Yeah, so there's just breakfast time, and then they close for about an hour or two. Then it's lunch, and they close for about another hour or two. And then then dinner.
What times they close at dinner?
8:30. 8:30. Okay. Yep. I think it opens from 4:30 to 8:30. So it's very convenient.
You didn't think we'd be coming on here talking about ice cream today, for sure.
No, that's nutrition's such a big part of it. Obviously, every Friday, if you have a sweet treat, it's not going to hurt you too bad.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Me and Bone Crusher, we like to do that twice to 3 times a day. So So let me ask you this: we got a lot of baseball kids here that play. What would you say is something that, throughout your whole journey, that's something that you could tell some of those kids? Because obviously all of them see the success, but they don't necessarily see behind the scenes of the hard work or even the rejection or the failure that's happened during those times. Because, you got people like Michael Jordan that talked about getting cut. You've gotten all these stories from professional athletes that talk about they wasn't the star. Paul Skeens just the other day was talking about how he was the worst 15-year-old on his team, and so could you tell some of the kids that might be listening or come back and listen something that you learned? I
think, kind of going back to the comparison thing, don't compare yourself to anyone. I think everyone has just a unique journey, and everyone's just different. I think you can learn from other people, absolutely, but everyone's on a different path than you. You just got to stick to the plan. Everyone says it, but it really is true. Just being surrounded by really good athletes and a good friend group. I was blessed enough to grow up with Eli Blair, who was my roommate, also played baseball with at UF. And I think just accountability-wise, we push each other on and off the field every single day. So I think kind of not leaning on him, but just kind of being there for accountability. I pushed him, he pushed me, and it was really good just to be able to have that level of trust with him. And it's really taken us a really far away, for sure.
I'm talking with Cooper Moss right here, Florida Gator freshman. So let's talk about your game. Let's talk about, now I know that when we had interviewed you early on after the state playoffs,
that you had talked about that you were perfecting some pitches and all that. What pitches do you have right now in your repertoire? And then is there anything else you're bringing in?
Yeah, so I have the fastball, slider, changeup / split. So I throw those three. And over the summer and fall, I've been really good to, like I said, perfect those pitches or just get them better, especially at the SEC level. Mechanically, I cleaned up a couple things, just mechanically, arm action and just my timing. Since I've been there, so that really helped as well. And kind of mechanically getting right, it helped all my pitches improve. So my fastball still has the ride that it needs. The slider has the horizontal movement that it needs. And then splitter's a good 2-strike pitch to get a swing and miss. So during the fall, Coach Kopp, who's our pitching coach, really helped me just, especially mentally, to be able to throw those pitches in each count that I can.
So let me ask you this: as far as your fastball, what are they clocking you at right now with your fastball?
Yeah, so my average fastball, I had an outing that was 94.2.
Okay.
So I sit from anywhere from 92, 93 to 95. Everyone there, it's very normalized. Everyone there everyone throws hard. It's just the matter of when they can use you in certain situations or how your things compared to other pitchers on the team. So it's been really fun just to compete against each other on the team. Obviously, we're best friends, but that's just how the game is.
Yeah. So as far as the rotation, how many pitchers do y'all have on the roster right now?
I believe we have 37 healthy guys on the team. I think we have 18 or 19 pitchers.
Okay.
So I know we have 2, our Friday and Saturday night guy. Then the Sunday position's open for anyone, honestly. But obviously, we play 4 or 5 games a week. So I think innings-wise is nothing to worry about.
So during this time of the year, when do you go back?
January 6th.
Okay, so are you supposed to just work out, no throwing? Did they set y'all up on like a schedule or anything like that?
So they obviously our coach Sean, he's our weightlifting coach. He sent us a weightlifting program that we should follow throughout the whole month of December and then January. And then throwing wise, we have a customized throwing program for us. So when we're back January 6th, I think our first practice is January 12th on that Monday. It's full on spring ball, and then we'll start scrimmages, and they expect you to be, almost 100% going into scrimmages.
So let me ask you this: as far as like running and stuff like that, do they? This is just a personal question because I love baseball, but do they make y'all run like long distance, or is it more like the short stuff, or is it more the inclines, or is it a little bit of both?
So we work out Monday through Friday. Wednesday is our sprint day. So sprint days are more, short sprints. We do sleds, just a lot of mobility stuff just to be able to move your weight as quick as you can. Nothing really long distance. I will say we do run just like as a warm up before every practice. It's like 2 poles, but that's just kind of to, get the blood flowing, just kind of get active after we stretch. So nothing really in terms of long distance. It's more, everything's mostly just kind of short sprints, resistance bands, sleds, stuff like that.
So, resistant bands. Okay, be very careful with those because Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from Florida, he got his orbital bone broke. Don't throw none of that.
Yeah, it's like a belt attached to your waist, and then it's kind of, it's partner assisted. So
okay, good. Yeah, stay away from that. I do remember that story. Yeah. So let me ask you this: what number did they give you, or did you get to select your number?
I got number 18 again. So that was I've had 18 since I couldn't even remember, 8 years old. Ben Zobrist, he was the guy I always looked up to, big Christian guy, good guy on and off the field. So I'm glad I get to keep that number going into UF. The guy last year, Pierce Coppola, got drafted. So he wore 18, and then in the summer we were able to choose numbers that were available, obviously. So I got to stick with 18.
So how is it going with you and Eli? Is he home as well?
He is.
And we'll get with him as well. But so I know that we had talked about it before you got there about do you know right now if you're going to be in the running for being a starter? Are you going to be a middle reliever, closer? Like how does that work as far as just explain that to us?
That's a good question. Obviously, in terms of freshmen and transfers, the fall was a really good time to see where everyone's at. As for me, it's a midweek closer role. And then once you do really well at a midweek closer, maybe you get a closer role on a weekend. And then once you get the closer role, they move you to a starter on a midweek game, against an FSU, UNF, USF. And then once you go that, you'll play more conference. Maybe you're a starter on a conference game. So it's just kind of leading when they need you, when it's most. Obviously nothing's set in stone now when I'm going to play and stuff like that. But in terms of innings, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But I think just perfecting what I can, control what I can, and just going out there and competing.
How cool is it though to know that that you're there, you're on the team, and then as much as you've competed in high school, as much as you competed back when you were a little kid, it means nothing except for now you've got to compete against people that are older, people that's got more experience. And as far as when you step onto the mound, what's something that just goes through your mind, or do you have anything you say to yourself, or that kind of thing?
Obviously, pressure's a privilege. I've put in all the work that I can to be able to be at the place I am now. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you were All-American, first team this in high school. None of that matters anymore. Obviously, it's just you competing against the guy in the box. And I take so much pride in that. And you're there for a reason, and it's my best stuff against your best stuff. I think that's just the humbling part about it, and it's just the exciting part as well. I've put in all the work. There's no, just any feeling that I'm don't belong. Obviously I put in the work and everything that I can to be able to be where I'm at now. Yeah,
and so as kids that may have listened or may come back and listen, what would you say to them as far as just dealing with not being the best on their team? Not being the star. As far as, right now, that, what could you tell them if a kid comes up to you and says, hey, I'm not the best kid on my team, but, I really love the game and I really want to do good at it? Yeah, obviously don't let anyone steal the joy of just the love of the game. I think if you find what you love and you can perfect at it, I think that's such a big thing. If you just surround yourself with talented guys, I remember my dad did a really good job of just making sure I was on teams that I wasn't the best, and I had to compete for spots. And I think that my dad took a lot of pride in that. We would travel to Tallahassee or just bigger name organizations just so I could be around just better, athletes that pushed me to compete for spots like that. And I think that helped me a lot, obviously, to the position that I am now, because everyone's just so talented. At a SEC school, obviously high school ball, it's a little different because you can't really choose, but. I think use it to your advantage. Obviously I think just having that, competitiveness in your body just to be able to compete with those guys and knowing that you belong with those guys and using it to your advantage and to work harder I hate to compare, but obviously just being able to compete and be well enough to, fight for spots like that if someone is, quote, more talented than right. Yeah.
But I think use it to your advantage, and I think that makes you a little more, hungry to, get better.
So we're going to have to go here in just a second. And Cooper, we appreciate you coming in, and man, I'm excited for the year. So let everybody know so you're 18 or are you 19 yet?
19. I turned 19 in September.
Okay. So there you go. So 19-year-old Cooper Moss. What does Cooper Moss want for Christmas this year?
That's crazy. So it's funny you say that. Me and my dad had lunch at J. Michael's, and we're walking out. He's like, "So did you figure out what you want for Christmas?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't need anything. We're going on a cruise this year, so I'm like, maybe if we go to Orlando, we can do some shopping or something
Yeah.
Like that. But in terms of, I don't really need anything. It's you get older and everything kind of gets more real, and it's kind of more like the socks, the underwear, the clothes. So it's probably more of that than it is toys or anything I really need, something like that.
Yeah, because Florida, they take care of you. I see you got your merch and stuff,
they do.
So you get shoes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so. That's been another really cool thing, just kind of the I don't know, just kind of all the stuff you get and everything like that. It's
Did you bring your laundry with you?
I brought some. And another thing,
college kid.
Yeah, so we have a strap, so we can throw our clothes on the loop.
Yeah,
and they wash it every day. So
oh man,
the luxuries of being an athlete's definitely pretty cool as well. So yeah.
That's really cool. Well, Cooper, man, thank you so much for being on with us today. And absolutely, we're going to all be watching you. And we'll probably get you on the phone or something after when you get your first time in place. So that'd be awesome.
I'd love to.
So thank you so much. Cooper Moss, Florida Gator in the building. We appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to discuss a lot more of what happened today with the Michigan coach. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's going to be the Troy Trojans versus the Jacksonville State Gamecocks in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Tuesday, live from Montgomery, Alabama. We'll have coverage starting at 8. Can Troy's defense and recent solid performance overcome GSU's strong conference play and turnover margin? Listen live on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Friday. Clear skies the remainder of the day with a light breeze at 7 miles per hour coming out of the south and look for it to be 68. Tonight it will be partly cloudy skies with the temperature reaching 57. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a wind around 5 miles per hour and a high of 70. Sunday will have a high of 66 and mostly sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Toyotathon is on at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 1.99% APR on a new Camry and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 3.49% APR on a new Corolla and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 1.99% on a new Tacoma, plus $1,000 in holiday cash. And 1.99% on a new Tundra, plus you'll get $1,000 in holiday cash. Shake up your holidays at Toyotathon.
Offers expire January 5th. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Santa called and he asked me to help everyone get ready for Christmas and avoid the stress and rush. So we've stocked the store with all of our favorite pieces of gold jewelry, chains, bracelets, pendants, and earrings. Whatever you're looking for, Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the largest selection and the best prices in town. Looking for a curb chain for Dad? Tracy's has it. A gold cross for your sister? Tracy's has it. Even those white gold hoop earrings, yep, that's right folks, Tracy's has it. So shop where Santa shops. Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290.
I'm sure that most of you have used a dial telephone before.
The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Come back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've joined us on this Friday right here in the Panhandle. We're live and local in the CBC Construction Studio. Don't forget, if you want to call in, you can. 850-215-6290 on the Red 7T's phone line. We're actually going to go to the Red 7T's phone line with Jeffrey on the phone. Jeffrey, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. There's a lot of information coming out about Michigan.
I know that, and that's why I'm glad you called. I'm glad that because we didn't get a chance to talk about it with you yesterday. Now, where are you right now, just so I'll let the listeners know?
I'm in Louisiana.
Oh, man. Are you going to get us a Lane Kiffin interview here soon?
I don't know. As long as he doesn't get on a plane and go somewhere else.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Jeffrey. So today, Sharon Moore was arraigned. They got him for home invasion, the threatening, and all of the things that were listed. And he finally made bail today. He's out, $250,000 bail. But what do you think about this whole debacle that is going on? Because we didn't get a chance to talk to you about it in length, but what do you say about all this?
Well, the problem is, and look, here's a disclaimer. LSU is no angel, okay?
Right.
Florida Florida Gator fans, people slinging mud at the Florida Gator fans for not being so angel-like with the whole Urban Meyer years and all that, right? So let's just all take this with a grain of salt. I don't want to sound like some holier-than-thou person who's a fan of a school who's not so holier-than-thou also, right?
Right.
So, but the information that keeps on coming out from different sources is pretty alarming. And, this breaking story has been going on for almost 2 full years, and there's certain people who are privy to it inside the athletic department, and there's certain people who they didn't speak up, and they didn't talk about anything when the 2 other investigations happened. And then apparently the athletic director might be let go. His name's Ward. Because Sunday he was alarmed to the Coach Sharon Moore's mental stability.
Right.
And, all these different pundits on TV are coming out with their own opinions before they know all the facts. And they're not looking very smart when this thing comes down to it, because they don't have all the information. And they don't know what, they're trying to give Sharon Moore benefit of the doubt, but I'm sorry, there's so much information out there that's basically just saying he's guilty. And this relationship has been going on for more than a year. And if she's 20 right now, that means she was 19 when it started. And it's 2 misdemeanors and a felony. The home invasion is the felony one. And me and you talked about about whether if she doesn't press charges, is he even going to get that felony? But I'm sure she's going to stick to her guns and probably keep with the law enforcement on charging him for that.
Yeah, let me ask you this real quick. As far as what you think about it, and again, this is we might be splitting hairs here. Does the age bother you as much as the offense? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit.
Does the age bother you? Because you did bring that up of her being 19 when all of this was going on. Does that bother you with this issue, or is it just his role as being in authority bother you more than that?
Actually, the age bothers me more than the authority figure. I have been in companies in a working environment where the bosses, multiple bosses, were sleeping with these subordinates, and everyone knew, and it was condoned. And I'm not saying this doesn't happen like in the military and everything, because it happens in the military also. I've heard stories, and it's kind of sad how it's kind of rampant. But the age thing definitely bothers me, and maybe it's just the fact that I have a daughter who's turning 22 this week. And my other daughter, she's 24.
Yeah.
So 19 seems very, I think about when I was 19, I made bad decisions. But I don't know. Everybody takes HR courses. So this university definitely gave an HR course to both of the people involved in this situation. And it's not just 2 people involved, because now you have the wife and the kids and everybody,
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting, because the university liability is kind of like going where, the athletic director says he doesn't know, but then there's all these other people inside the athletic department that did know and remain silent, and 2 investigations already being closed before this 3rd investigation has happened. I just hope that they don't fire her, or maybe they just needed to redirect her to a different position inside the athletic department, because if they fire her, the liability is going to be above $1 million easily, right?
Yeah, I understand that. I get what you're saying on that part. To me, I'm probably going to be on the other end, because she knew what she was doing as well. Yes, there's going to be liability on because basically what I've heard and read is that there was an investigation done, and both parties, her and Coach Moore, both stated there was nothing going on. There was no part. None of this was true, and they denied it all the way through. And that was the deal. and then I guess she broke up with him, or told him that it was over, and decided then to take the evidence, basically the emails, the text messages, all of the stuff, whether it was receipts and all that, and basically told on him, and then they fired him or what have you. But the investigations were done, and it was like one of the callers said yesterday, Michigan knew something was going on, and they feel like because after the USC game, they went on the little run and won ball games, so they decided to keep him because of that. So winning was more important than doing the right thing for the Michigan Wolverines.
Which is sad because we know about the Penn State Sandusky thing.
Yes.
And doing the right thing, we know how important that is. And look, I give the utmost respect to Michigan because of not just the education, but their standards have always been super high. And it's disappointing not to see one of the ones that are one of the top notch as far as being ethical kind of failing in this whole situation. And it's horrible. But the age is, she knew what was going on. If there was 2 investigations, she definitely got interviewed, right?
Yes.
And, she didn't come forth before. She knew it was wrong. So, I mean, her ability to win in court, it doesn't really matter because they're going to settle out of court. It's going to be
right.
Arbitrator is probably what's going to end up happening and not a judge. So I feel for the girl because we know Monica Lewinsky was, 24 or 23? Yeah, when all that went down. And this girl was 19 and 20 at this time. So it's a bit of a growth between those 4 or 5 years. So it's sad. But, Wednesday night before everything broke and before he went on his rampage to the house and the knives and everything,
yeah,
Tim Tebow spoke first. And he was saying that, he deserves to be fired and all this kind of stuff. And then Desmond Howard was about to blow up. And he held back a little bit. And then he says, no, we've got to investigate. And he said all these things positive. Now, he's a Michigan guy, so
right.
It was a little bit of bias going on. But was extremely disappointed. So that was Wednesday night. So then Thursday, right, everything happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jameel Hill of ESPN, I think she's still with ESPN.
I don't know. She might be.
Yeah, she came out and she was saying all these things like, if he were white, coach, it would be, so she's bringing the whole race thing into it. And it's funny because Jason Whitlock of ESPN before that had said which person's going to bring the race card into this whole thing. And people were laying odds, and she was the odds favorite for bringing up the race card, and she did it. And she took the bite. And Stephen A. hasn't talked about it as a race card yet. Nobody else has talked about a race card, but she had to bring it up and say that if it was a white coach, she wouldn't have been fired so quickly. And I was like, this girl has no idea, all the information that's involved in this whole situation. And, I mean, it's just, you can't even condone that coach for doing everything he did. And being fired is the least of his worries right now.
Yeah, I think the other part of it is, I think the wife and the kids, when you think about them, they're the real people that have been affected by this the most. And you would hope, for her sake, that not only does she get some type of pay because the university knew something was going on, or else they wouldn't have paid for an outside investigation to be done about this. Right? So it wasn't an internal investigation. The university, the athletic department, they all paid for this to be investigated. And so with that being said, to me, I hope that I hope she sues the university because they knew something was going on. And, whether they told her, whether they kept it from her or whatever, obviously, this is a big deal for them, but that's who I hope gets taken care of out of all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course he's going to end up in divorce, I'm pretty sure. There's a 90-some% chance of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. I mean, when you look at how this all transpired and just how all of this stuff happened, you know, it really gives you an inside look, because like the girl, for example, the staffer, she was making $45,000 a year. But then whenever he took over as the head coach, she immediately, her pay doubled and went to $90,000, you know, just for being a staffer on staff, executive assistant, which is nothing more than basically a secretary. I mean, that's what an administrative assistant is. And, you know, not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with being a secretary. That's a great job, you know, if you enjoy that kind of stuff. But making $90,000 a year to be a secretary in the athletic office, it just seems like all the signs were pointing to exactly what was going on.
Absolutely. And the problem with, okay, now, we make a certain wage in the South, and Florida might be a little higher than the average South, but up north, they're used to getting paid more money. So an administrative assistant like that up on the East Coast will make a little more than what Michigan makes. But a person that's got experience and is like 35 or 40 years old would probably make in the 70s, probably.
Right.
But a 19-year-old is not going to be making $90,000 a year.
Exactly. And that's exactly the point I was trying to make. A 19-year-old making $90,000 a year to be an executive, an administrative assistant, you know, that's just that's a lot. But you know, with the outside investigation, with all the stuff that's going on with that's kind of why you would have an investigation, because something smells wrong here. But either way, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, man, there's been some things happening in Michigan, but it's not about the coach this time that I'm going to tell you about. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
Nick Saban goes into the College Football Hall of Fame today. Thank you, Coach Saban, for turning Alabama into the greatest dynasty in college football history. Absolute domination. A run college football will possibly never, ever see again.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Patrick with Turf Pro Pest Control. Summer is finally here. Now is the time to enjoy your lawn with cookouts, pool parties, or just catching some of that summer sun. Don't let fire ants ruin your day. Call Turf Pro Pest Control. Turf Pro will come out to your property and eliminate fire ants quickly. We guarantee it. Call Turf Pro. The blue and yellow trucks make your lawn green. Find us on Facebook at Turf Pro PC.
Your goals matter, and at Anytime Fitness Panama City, they're ready to help you crush them. With expert coaching, personal training, and virtual workouts through the Anytime Fitness app, you'll have all the support you need inside the club and beyond. Limited time only. Join today for just $1 down and start your fitness journey now. Don't wait. Visit 107 West 23rd Street, Suite W8, or call 850-818-8184. Anytime Fitness. Let's make healthy happen.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
Correct. Layup good and wide. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Raises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live, local, and worldwide right here in your CBC Construction Studio. Don't forget, tomorrow, Army versus Navy Saturday football that you didn't know was coming on. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock. Make sure you tune in right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, if you want to be a part of the show, if you've got a comment you want to make, you can call or text on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We've got Jeffrey on the phone line. Jeffrey, you know, when you look at all of the stuff that's happened, it's all about the coach at this point, but I want to bring in something that happened yesterday evening after all of this, and I was wondering how this was all going to happen because obviously when you fire your coach, there's different rules. My question is how it was going to work for those kids who were signed last Wednesday on the signing day, or whether or not they were going to be held to their contract basically because of signing with Michigan. Well, it broke last night that Rivals 300 tight end Matt Ludwig was the first 2026 Michigan signee to ask for release since the Sharon Moore firing. He's a four-star tight end, and he's asked about being released. How do you think that's going to affect what Michigan is going to do going forward?
That's going to kill them, and they need to find a head coach in the next 2 days.
Wow.
It's going to get worse because Coastal Carolina just hired the Missouri State coach, and then Utah's Whittingham. He just retired. He will make the Las Vegas Bowl his last game, Las Vegas Bowl. So Utah's looking for a coach, and now Missouri State's looking for a coach.
Do they have a portal for coaches?
That's a good one.
It's funny because everybody's algorithm is different. And, of course, the Gators get all what they get, right? And then Paul gets all of his Alabama stuff. So DeBoer is like riddled probably all over being mentioned about the Michigan position. And then it's funny because my LSU algorithm is showing Brian Kelly going to Michigan.
Wow. Yeah. And you know what? We had a poll yesterday, and actually you can still go on and do that. We've been taking the poll and looking at it, and Kalen DeBoer is leading, but Jesse Minter is right there behind him. There's been some people that called in yesterday that talked about Brian Kelly. He's on the list as well. And then John Gruden was on our list as well, just to see where everybody was thinking. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that Utah's coach had just retired. So this will be his last game. So there's another opportunity for because Utah, whether you think they're good or not, they've been really good. He's been a good coach for them. So do you think going into this now, Michigan has to make a big hire, or is it there? Because there's really not any G5 guys available. There are, but not that's well known, or nobody would want to come there just because of him. So do you think it has to be a big hire, or do you think it just needs to be somebody that can steady the ship?
It's hard to say that. If you are going to get somebody to steady the ship, it better not be more than a 3-year deal, right?
Yeah, But, it's Michigan. Like, I put Michigan in the top 5, top 10 for sure. If they're out of the top 5 as far as jobs go, top 7, top 8, somewhere around there. Where do you have them? I know you got Penn State. If you had Penn State in your top 10, then Michigan should be 1, right?
No, Michigan is either 4 or 5, depending upon what we're looking at, really. I think everybody can pretty much agree that Texas, Ohio State, and Alabama are 1, 2, 3, and then in whatever order you want to put them in, I don't care. But Michigan is either a 4 or 5. Penn State is not that far up there. If Penn State clocks in at 9 or 10, I'd be, I don't want to say happy, I'd just be respectful for that because of just the history and the money and everything. And then you want to talk about money. Michigan's got a lot of money,
Yeah, they got a lot of money.
And you want to talk about quality education. I don't think people realize how good of an education the Michigan education is, because I had a friend, and I met her, and she lived outside of Detroit growing up. And I said, hey, did you go to the University of Michigan? And she goes, no, I wasn't smart enough. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, I had to go to Michigan State because I wasn't smart enough to get to Michigan. And I was like, you work for the FBI.
Wow. That's crazy.
And I was like, and you were smart enough to get into Michigan? I was like, wow. And then I've talked to other people since then, and I have an appreciation for the level of their education is up there. It's pretty high.
So let me ask you this. We talked about it yesterday, and who do you see, who do you think would be the best hire for the job? But realistically, who do you see going there?
I think the timing of what's happening right now, that they need to bring Brian Kelly in.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to happen like tomorrow or the next day. I think they can't wait for an NFL guy. It's just too far away. We have 4 games left in the NFL season. Can you imagine waiting a whole month till the regular season is over with, and they're already had playoff games already being played? And I don't know what Michigan's doing for the bowl game because they're playing Texas, right?
Yeah, they're playing in Texas.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big deal, and at the timing, it couldn't be worse, really.
So you don't think that waiting on Jesse Minter would be the deal, because obviously he was the Michigan defensive coordinator for that. Let me ask you this. Do you believe, because, you know, there's an article that was written, and I screenshotted it earlier. You know, when you look at this team, when you look at this coaching staff for the last, 8 years now, Michigan has had 11 staffers either arrested or banned from the sport for rules violations since Jim Harbaugh arrived.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you put all of that into perspective, it's almost like, and I hate to do this to the Florida fans, but you mentioned it earlier, it's almost like the Urban Meyer deal. It's almost like what Ohio State had to deal with. So you have to clean house, and it's surprising that that Minter is being mentioned, but he's a part of the same coaching staff. They all are together. Don't you think they need to rid Michigan of all of that? I mean, one of the callers yesterday said they need to fire everybody from starting with the athletic director all the way down.
Okay, well, I'll start with the athletic director. When he did the firing, he had no other staff personnel, not even human resources there when he fired the coach. And they're calling that a fireable offense of the athletic director because he had no security or anything. What if that dude flipped out on him?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying. And there will be a documentary, just like the Florida Gators had their documentary. I don't think it'll be a 30 for 30 on ESPN, but there will be a documentary about the Michigan years. In all those arrests, they got 3 solo Big Ten titles in a row. 3 in a row. Was it worth it is the question you have to ask yourself, because Michigan has pretty much been irrelevant for almost 25 years now in the Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State has won a share or sole control of 11 of the last 25 titles in the Big Ten. Ohio State is not second fiddle to Michigan in that conference any longer. They have stepped out, and they have been the school for the Big Ten. When people try and drum up that Michigan's this or Michigan's that, no. You're the little brother of Ohio State, in essence, in this century. Last century, Michigan dominated. Ohio State has taken the reins from them.
Well, and that's what was said yesterday. One of the callers had mentioned it, and then one of the other callers had called in and said, we are not Ohio State's little brother, no matter what, just because they said that they beat them 4 years in a row, except for, obviously this year being the year that they didn't. It makes you wonder, because we talked about it a little bit yesterday, it makes you wonder about what winning solves. Does winning really, is it worth it? Does it solve the problems that you're going to have in the future if you're doing it the wrong way. You know, obviously, no program is going to be clean. No program is going to have every single I dotted, T crossed from the top to the bottom. There's always going to be somebody making a mistake. There's always going to be somebody doing something that's not right, whether it's a staff or whether it's a coach, whether it's a analyst or, you know, there just can't be people by nature are going to break rules and are going to do things that aren't right, but not on this level. So is it worth it? Is it worth going through all of this? Because now this is another part of the 2025 season that we had no idea that was going to happen, and it has taken over ever since we woke up Wednesday and heard all of this, or when it all started happening on Wednesday. It's taken over the news cycle from not just sports news, but all the news.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about it, this isn't like just a solo thing. I mean, this is a huge deal, don't get me wrong. But Gary Moeller, I don't know if you remember him. He was after Bo Schembechler before Lloyd Carr. He got drunk in a restaurant and acted erratic and lost his job. Mm-hmm. And he had more wins and less losses than this Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't matter. Michigan has a standard. They have to live up to that standard. We're not saying this was just one person's involvement because, I mean, there were other people who knew and probably swept it underneath the rug. And there's other schools that have done stuff like this. Heck, Les Miles wanted blondes to be the helpful people to the football team. And he said, I want blondes as the girls that would help out the team. And I guess they were involved in recruiting, I'm sure, too. And he lost his Kansas job because of something he did at LSU. That is insane. But that's how society is, and that's how corporate America is, and that's the example that they set for these kids at college because it's ethics, you know?
Yeah, well, and the other part is that that's not something that's a secret, exactly what you just said that Les Miles was doing. Every time you got a recruit to come, they would have the sororities or the cheerleaders or whoever show you around campus. And that's just what they did. That was just a part of it. And, you know, now that we live in a society where, you know, that stuff is not, it's not okay. It's not, you know, you want to come there because of the school and the winning culture or because of a coach or whatever. But, you know, that's part of it. And they all do it. That's why I say there's a lot of stuff that used to happen that now it's not okay. And it's crazy when it finally comes out. And then, like you said, they make documentaries about it. And you're like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe that's coming out. But it all was happening. I mean, look at what Ohio State was doing on their recruiting trips. That was a big deal. And Michigan, you know, they were all about it, making fun, saying all this stuff, and then talking about Urban Meyer and all that. And now that has come to roost to their school now.
Yeah. I mean, there's some stories I don't even know about. I know there were strippers up at Louisville doing recruiting, right?
Yeah, with Freak Pitino. Mm-hmm.
And then there was Mike Price at Alabama who didn't even coach a game.
Yep. Before he even coached the game, he was.
And then there was Hugh Freeze on his company phone was doing stuff in Tallahassee.
Yep. Calling massage parlors and things like that. Yep.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's a list of people. Coach O had a hard time with his hormones.
Yeah. And so did Pete Carroll. I mean, you know, and that's the deal. You think when you hire someone and they're married and they have kids that you're hiring a steady, you know, someone that can stay the ship and not to judge, you know, all of us are human. All of us make mistakes, but you know, there has to be a standard that is set. And I believe that they should have fired him immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, but you need security there. I mean, was it a butter knife? I mean, because I'm hearing different things.
Well, it said a knife with scissors was what was said today when I listened to the court proceeding. The prosecutor said that it was scissors with knives, so that was used.
Like a spork or something?
No, I think like, you know how like the knives block that you have in your house, it comes with a set of scissors. I think those scissors were there too. So, but either way, yeah.
It's craziness. I hate to think of what the psyche is for this girl who's 20 years old now, that she probably has to transfer out of that school, I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely a parting of wave. But we're going to have to take our next break. And when we come back, we're going to have a national champion on the phone lines to talk about what's going on with the college football playoff. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. The Dan Patrick Show.
The folks out there who are Chiefs fatigued. There's a lot of you out there, I know. For those of you out there who have been waiting for the Chiefs to finally stumble and not get up, well, guess what? The first alert, Kansas City Chiefs have arrived. They have fallen. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get up.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Mostly clear tonight with a very light wind and temps near 57. Tomorrow morning we will have mostly sunshine and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour and be quite warm at 69. Mostly clear in the afternoon and evening and a high 70 with a gentle breeze. Mostly sunshine Sunday with a temp of 65. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama. Hey, North. Rely on it.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 0.9% APR for up to 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 25 Kia Telluride. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Countdown to savings is going on now. Celebrate the season in style and drive away in a new Kia today. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or VIN-specific new 2025 Telluride with $1,705 per month per $1,000 financed at 60 months. Quantities limited. $1,000 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty.
Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/26.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
College football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's going to be the Troy Trojans versus the Jacksonville State Gamecocks in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Tuesday, live from Montgomery, Alabama, we'll have coverage starting at 8. Can Troy's defense and recent solid performance overcome GSU's strong conference play and turnover margin? Listen live on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
The Sports Blitz. 100% live and local from the CBC Construction Studios. The Sports Blitz.
Welcome home, baby.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's 5 o'clock right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Friday, baby. You made it to the weekend, and we're excited that you're with us. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We are your place for the NFL and college football tomorrow. Army versus Navy. Kickoffs at 2 p.m. right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're pumped up and ready to go. Tennessee Brandon's in the building with us, and on the phone line right now, we've got
national champion, Martin Houston. Uh-oh. We've got a voice that is not normal to the show, which is a hang-up number. But either way, Bone Crusher, he'll get us fixed back up here in just a minute. But either way, Brandon, how's it going?
It's going good, man.
Okay, I don't think it's working. Bone Crusher, we need some sound on Brandon's mic, and then also the music that needs to pop down. All right, here we go. Bone Crusher's having fun today. Are you doing good, Brandon?
I'm doing great, man. Glad to be I could jump in here and talk some sports with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've been talking about the whole Michigan thing and how everything's been going, and the fact is that really they've got to get it fixed, and they got to get it fixed quick. You know, Jeffrey, he thinks that they got to get it within the 2 days. It's got to be 2 days, or else you're going to keep losing people because they've already started getting release forms by their kids.
Yeah, no doubt. They're going to start dropping like flies. I mean, those kids aren't going to want to be in a place that doesn't have stability. But then again, I mean, with you hire a coach in 2 days, what if that's the wrong hire? I mean, then you're moving further back than where you were. So, I mean, is it something that needs to be rushed, or is it what? You got to build this thing up from the ground up, and is hiring a coach that quickly the way to go?
Right. Well, we're going to table it for the moment. We've got Martin Houston on the phone line, national champion, one of my I don't know. I just watched him all when I was a kid, and it was just awesome. Not trying to tell you how old he is or anything like that, but I was a kid whenever he was in college. So there you go. Martin, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, I'm okay with the age thing. I want as many of those I can get, man.
Well, I will tell you this. You guys can go follow Martin Houston on Facebook and all of the other social media platforms. You have aged gracefully, my friend. You look like you could still suit up if you had to. And you know what? Phillip Rivers is doing it, so why not you?
Well, just one play. Fourth and one, 1 second at the 1 yard line. I think I can get it done.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right.
I think I can get it done.
You ain't as good as you once was, but you good once as you ever was.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right. And you know what? Forget the tush push. Give it to the fullback. Right. Let's go with the dive.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Every time.
Every time. Forget the tush push. But either way, well, Martin, let's talk about the Crimson Tide. We made it. We got in. It was a little bit shocking to me, a little bit how it all happened. Obviously, the Notre Dame deal going on. How do you feel about the Crimson Tide making it in? And just kind of elaborate on that, if you would.
Well, having played the game, man, I totally think they should be in. College football has to have the worst group of leaders I have ever seen. I mean, that's what I do for a living, is leadership training and coaching. And I mean, I would love to sit down with them and tell them, standardize as much as you can, because the reality of it is you don't have the NFL where it's one league where everybody kind of all agree. You literally have, 4 major leagues, and then you have one pseudo major league team. Then you have independents, and you don't even have a common thing around how many teams are in a conference. And so the reality of it is you're going to have some, some really top teams, some really bad teams in every conference. That's the reality of it. But to me, I think it's the right thing. It's plain and simple. If they're not going to require Notre Dame to be in a conference, then you have to pick the playoff teams at the end of the 12-game season. Then we don't have this problem.
Right.
And you should have the championship game. The championship games, to me, should be about seeding, okay? So let's say we ended that week. Notre Dame, they're in, I guess, based on the way they did it, which I don't think Notre Dame should have been in front of BYU either. Mm-hmm. But to me, and then the Power Five, and when you have teams that's not in the top 12, to me, you just put both of them on that line. That makes sense. It should have been Duke and Virginia, and it should have been Tulane and whatever. The second Power 5 never should have got in. I don't care what you say. Duke is a better football team. James Madison may win 5 games in ACC. So, but that's the way I think. So I think they got that right. And then I think they rectified it wrong. I was shocked that they did it. Notre Dame never should have been in front of Miami. In my opinion, everybody talks about how awesome they are and how good they are. Based on what? Who
Right.
would they be?
Yeah.
The only difference between them and Miami all year was they lost early in the year to 2 good teams, don't get me wrong, but that was only 2 good teams they played.
Right.
And they lost to both of them. And then Miami on the other side, Paul, you look at it, Miami just happened to have lost right before the polls came out, before the rankings came out. That's why they were – why did you have them 18 and that many spots apart? And so I think they corrected it wrong. What everybody should be up in arms about is the fact that you have 2 Power 5 teams, group of 5 teams. I mean, that's what everybody should be up in arms about.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Alabama and Miami. I mean, not Alabama and Notre Dame.
No, exactly right. Let me ask you this. Obviously, a lot of people have talked about the last 2 games that they've seen, the game against Auburn and then the game against Georgia. Obviously, wasn't our best, outings for sure. Have you heard anything? Because I saw the pictures today. I saw the practice stuff going on. Is Ty Simpson hurt? Was he hurt? Is the back injury for real, or is it not?
I think it is for real. I don't think that's why he's played bad.
Right.
But it is for real. It does. It has to impact him some. Mm-hmm. But he's just gotten to that mode. It's a couple of things going on. He got into that mode where he don't want to make a mistake. This is a front-running team. Okay? Mm-hmm. How many games this year did we trail in? Florida State, Georgia, Oklahoma. Now, we trailed against
were we down to Vandy? Yeah.
We were down to Vandy. But I think that one had something different, like different mojo, because we had heard for a year like Georgia heard all year, right?
Yeah.
And so even though the game started, I think they had something else that was motivating them in that one. But the other 3 losses, we trailed in all of those early. Mm-hmm. And then we just couldn't. I don't know if it's the players, I don't know if it's the coaches, I don't know if it's a combination, but we just don't respond well. And I have to say this. I did a leadership training thing today, Paul. Auburn is probably one fired coach after week 1 from being 9-3 or 10-2.
Yeah, you're right.
You think about this. They gave up 25 points, 24 points. How many times? More than 24? Vanderbilt.
Yep, that's right.
What also happened in the Vanderbilt game? The offense for Auburn also scored.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? The rest of the time, they were 1 score from winning every game they played. And so they weren't a bad team. And I think we have a little bit of fool's gold, don't get me wrong. We play well from the front. And this offense, if you go back and look, they like what? Deep balls, right?
Yeah.
Or longer routes. They like 15 to 25-yard routes or deeper. They don't really like that stuff underneath. But what did South Carolina, Oklahoma, Georgia the second time, and Auburn do? They all made Ty respond in 2.5 seconds or less. That was their goal. And it's not just Ty. When he got protection, it still takes the routes a while to think. But they decided, if you let this guy sit back there, if he gets to 3.5 seconds, you're toast.
Yeah.
And Georgia can't do it without blitzing, but they just decided we're going to blitz, and we don't think he can get the ball off. And he can't, because we don't adjust our routes or our offense. No draws, no screens, no underneath stuff.
Yeah, that was the biggest part that I was so frustrated about with both games, and we talked about it here on the show on Monday. I was wearing red and they didn't know where my shirt started and where my skin began because I was so frustrated about it because the routes are too long. Like you're talking about, give us some slants, give us something, in the flats, something quick. And it's like, even some things that I just don't understand is it takes sometimes 1 to 2 seconds for Ty Simpson to fake the handoff to the running back, but there's a blitz coming. Like it's not time for that. And so, I did see that Jam Miller was in practice today and he was toting the rock. So that is a good sign, I believe.
Yeah, I think it could be. I just don't know that. We're not gonna win because they're not gonna call enough runs. It didn't matter who the running back is.
Right.
Jam is a little bit better blocker. Not great. I think Georgia just outnumbered us in this last game.
Yeah.
But I mean, having a guy that's played that much football back, Paul, it has to help your team some.
Yeah.
When you go from a freshman who's never blocked in that type of game to a guy who has played at that level. So definitely a positive. One other quick thing. What did Georgia do in that game? They raised up and threw the ball to what? Did you see the first half stat? He had 17 passes. 3 of them were beyond the line of scrimmage or beyond 5 yards.
Right.
He was 11 for 14.
Yep.
At 5 and under.
5 and under.
Almost all of those were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And what do we do? What play did we score on? An underneath screen.
Yep.
I mean, it's simple stuff.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. It's like, yes, we're all armchair quarterbacks. Obviously, you played, at a high level, so better than most. And that's the thing, Martin. When you look at it, you're hoping to get a different feel when you get out there. You're hoping that it works out, and that's the biggest thing.
Did you see the Mike McDonald interview?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you haven't seen that? Okay, this is what you need to do before you play it for your listening audience. Go listen to, he was Brock Heward.
Yes.
In his show earlier this week. He had, just look up Mike McDonald, why he disrespect play callers. Okay, and you should be able to find. That's literally how I found it. And then go back and look at the day he was on Brock's show when he asked him about firing Ryan Grubb. The interview says, I lose respect for a guy who sees a play one week and then he thinks, oh, we'll just run that and we'll play that. And does he not know that the other team, you can't just grab stuff and he's going off. He's talking.
Wow. They
didn't ask him that question. They didn't ask him about that. He's like, you have to have an identity. You can't just, they practice. And he said, I know I'm chasing edges. I'm sorry. Y'all didn't even ask me that. And I'm like, hold on. This guy he's only been the boss 2 years. He hired Ryan Grubb and he fired him. So he's only talking. He either talking about his current play caller or he's talking about his previous play caller, right?
Yes.
Then in the interview, which happened back in January, they asked him, and he goes into this whole thing about vision and all that. And then he says something to the effect of Ryan Grubb talked about the fact the difference between the college and the pros is it's about scheme of players and matchups and finding things you can do. And he's like, in the pros, it's about scheme. And I'm like,
yikes.
So like I said, it's about a 5-minute interview in January, and then this other one was about a minute or 15-second clip. It literally sounds like what you and all of us as Alabama fans have been saying. It's like he doesn't seem to be calling a system. He seems to just be grabbing stuff.
Wow.
And Paul, and you know what proves that? What's one of the best plays you've seen all year from Alabama? Would you say the way we start the second half against Missouri with the screen pass to Ryan Williams?
Ryan Williams, yeah. I would say that.
if that was your system, if you had a system, would you not have ran that at least once?
At least
once.
Yeah.
At least one.
It's got me crazy. It's got me thinking, and and I always downplay my ability to understand the college game because nobody's paying me to do that. But sometimes I ask my wife, and obviously she doesn't know, so she's like, that sounds pretty good to me. But either way, so let me ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
My wife's saying is your wife. Listen, she don't claim to know. She goes, why don't they give the ball to number 2?
Yeah,
Like, okay, he can't catch. Well, why don't they just hand it to him? Why is Ryan Williams not playing the same way David Palmer played at Alabama?
Yeah, you're not kidding.
That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
That would be the easiest way, just to get, we have a coach here that coaches one of our local teams. And when I go out and interviewed him and they ran a special play to win the game in the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs, I said, what was your idea? He said, I had to get the ball into our best player's hands. And that stuck out to me the whole time. So when you're in a football game, what do you need to do? Get the ball to your best player's hands. Now, what does that mean? Any way possible. So it doesn't, you don't have to do it this way or that way. Let me ask you this. We're talking with Martin Houston, former national champion, University of Alabama. Let me ask you this, Martin, stepping outside of the Alabama bubble for a second. Obviously, everybody knows what's going on with Sharon Moore. You being involved in the building of knowing how it works with assistants and analysts, and how important is it to make sure that you guard yourself from this kind of stuff that's going on right now? Is that elementary? Because to me, that would seem like one of the easier things to do, is how to guard yourself from allowing yourself to be involved with something like this.
You talking about, like, how could he guard himself?
Yes. Yes.
Happened? I really have. I don't know. I think, first of all, is who you surround yourself with, because none of us, not one of us, is above falling into that. Not is above it. So you better have some safeguards in place, and you better be able to have people around you that will call you out.
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't have that, then you're already on the wrong path. Number 2 is, Paul, I literally ask myself, is it possible? Because I don't know how long this has been going on. And I was like, is it possible, when he had no idea he was going to be the front dog, was this already something inappropriate? How long? And that's all of the questions that I'm asking, because I don't know. Is it possible that something, and I'm not trying to throw him back under the bus, but remember how long Wimp's thing went on long before it ever came out?
Yep.
It was long before he was the head man.
Yep.
And I just wonder if that was the case here. Because as the head coach, unless she was, it's just the same thing happened with Coach Dubose. He got there and he changed and didn't have the guards around him. So I think that's the biggest thing you do, is if you get to that place, you have to do it all the time. Everybody needs it at every level. But when you get to that level, you better have some people around you who will call you out. And then you need to take the approach that Dr. Billy Graham took.
Yes.
Dr. Billy Graham always traveled with someone, and he would never be the one to open the door.
Right. Exactly.
So it's just it's a sad situation. But I wish, I pray for his family, pray for him as well, and the young lady involved. But you have to put safeguards in place, Paul. I mean, it's just, none of us are above it. None of us are above it. So.
That's right. Well, we're bumped up against the break, Martin. We appreciate you so much coming on, giving your insight, and we appreciate you. And everybody go visit Martin Houston Speaks on Facebook and all of his other platforms that he is on there. And we appreciate it. We're going to touch base with you probably after the game and see what your thoughts are. Hopefully we'll be in good spirits because the tide will roll.
I think we're going to win. I'm calling it now. So I'll talk to you afterwards as we prepare for Indiana.
That sounds good. We will see you then, my friend. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thanks, Paul.
Yes, sir. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy candidates. Man, you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70s studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. Your home for college football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the 126 Army versus Navy game, live from Baltimore, Maryland.
He might be in. Touchdown.
Navy is the current favorite and holds a 9-2 season record to Army's 6-5. Listen live starting Saturday at 1, kickoff at 2 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Loves one wide open touchdown.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Mostly clear tonight with a very light wind and temps near 57. Tomorrow morning we will have mostly sunshine and a wind speed of 6 miles per hour and be quite warm at 69. Mostly clear in the afternoon and evening and a high 70 with a gentle breeze. Mostly sunshine Sunday with a temp of 65. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hiller's here, Hiller's here. You don't need to worry. If you're stuck without any heat, we'll be there in a hurry. Hiller's here to help you right away. We'll be there to fix you up. Call a Happy Face Truck today. Yes, Hiller's here, so never fear. Call a Happy Face Truck today. Hiller!
Happy holidays from the Hiller family. Take advantage of our current specials and deals at happyhiller.com.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup. Good and wide. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. It's the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it. To the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. The Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, where the listeners call the plays.
That's a big factor in what Florida State's going to do for the future of this program.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live and local in the CBC Construction Studio. We're excited about the rest of the show, and you can be a part of the show. All you got to do is call in, text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We're excited about it. We're going to go to the Red 70s phone line right now, and we're going to take Mike on the phone. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Paul, second time caller. I like your show.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling from Reed, Ohio. Paul, I want to talk about who do you think should be the next Michigan coach, and why do the kids want to back out? Why do the kids want to go through the where the kid transport portal.
So I think, Mike, that honestly, I think that Brian Kelly would be the right guy for the job. The reasoning behind it is that he's taken teams over before, and he's had success everywhere except for LSU. And if you look at what he did at LSU, he really did have it. He did have success, but he just didn't have the success that LSU requires. And so with that being said, I think you need a head coach that's been a head coach somewhere large. LSU's large, Notre Dame's large. So I think it's got to be somebody that can come into the building immediately, that has his guys, that knows how to run an organization, and can be able to salvage what Michigan is having to deal with right now. So with that, that's why I think they need to go with Brian Kelly. The second part to your question is, to me, the reason why they're going into the portal is because there's no leader. They didn't come there to play for Ward Emanuel, which is the athletic director. They came to play for.
I think he should be fired. He knew about what was on that Coach Moore, and I think he should be fired. Let me ask you another question. Like I got here, what do you think? What do you think about Kirk St. Nettie going to Michigan?
Oof. I mean, they're on the cusp of possibly getting an opportunity to play for the national title. They just had the largest win in history. They won the Big Ten. I don't see him taking that job because at this moment and at this season, the Indiana Hoosiers are better than what Michigan was putting on the field. And, I mean, they proved it. And I honestly don't think that he would do that. Now, do I think he could come to Alabama? Absolutely.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think after next year, Caleb DeBoer gets done at Alabama, I think they're going to fire him and possibly hire who you said. I love listening to the show. I love listening to ESPN 104.3, and I'm going to do a Facebook search.
Yes, sir.
Find you guys on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you finding us, and thanks for listening, and thanks for calling. We appreciate you, Mike.
All right. I'll call you Monday.
Yes, sir. Have a good weekend. Yes, sir. It's so true, man. You've got to get you got to get somebody else in there to right the ship. And Jeffrey, I know you're still with us. Do you think that there's a possibility that Kirk Cignetti would come to Michigan after having the success that he's had at Indiana?
No, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, would you see him be more apt to come back to Alabama, being that coaching tree if Kalen DeBoer was to leave Alabama and say take a Michigan job? I know that's been talked about by all the Alabama fans.
I don't know. That's so hard. I mean, I know he's going to Elon and James Madison before Indiana. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a hard call.
Yeah, Brandon, what do you think about it? You think Kalen DeBoer, if he takes that Michigan job, Alabama job comes open, this would utterly be the craziest.
It would be the craziest 365 in college sports
in 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if DeBoer took it and Alabama job open, I mean the major programs that have had vacancies this year is just mind-boggling. That all of this has transpired in the same, almost same calendar year. I kind of agree with you. I think Brian Kelly would be a hot hire. He's coached up there in the North before.
Yep.
His ties are probably still pretty tight, I would say, up there. Mm-hmm. He has been proven prior. He has taken the teams over the top. And if you're looking to make a quick hire, like Jeff said, within the next few days and he's available, I think that would be pretty good hire. To Mike's point, I don't think Cignetti's leaving. The same reason I didn't think Lane should have left Ole Miss. The landscape has changed.
Yeah.
You don't have to be at an Ohio State, an Alabama, a Texas, or Michigan to win. Kurt proved that this year. He had Indiana win the Big Ten. I mean, Lane's had, several 10-win seasons at Ole Miss. You can do it elsewhere. And the pressure that would surmount going to Michigan from Indiana, I don't think, he want to sign up for that. I mean, I think Indiana's taking care of him. He's getting the players he needs, and he's winning. So,
Jeff, you agree with that? You agree with what Brandon just said? Do you think that it's going to be fair game for everybody? You think anybody that you believe is a blue blood of college football out of the top 10 right now, not that's ranked top 10, but the top 10 of the college football blue bloods, as you would call, you think none of those places that you don't have to be at those places to win national championships anymore?
I mean, I do agree, but then I don't think it's just any place. Because, like, if I were to mention Indiana, Duke, and Vanderbilt, do you think that, okay, Indiana's already won the Big Ten. Do you think Duke or Vanderbilt's going to win their conference in the next 10 years?
No.
Yeah. So it has to be a particular situation, and I think Indiana's kind of on that cusp where they have the potential where Duke and Vanderbilt don't.
I mean, Duke won their conference championship.
I know, but they won't do it again in the next 10 years.
But and I get it. But I'm just saying it's a crazy thing, and I'm going to push back on Brandon on that. I still think that you have to be able to. You got to spend the money. And are there more players now than before? Yes. But are we going to start seeing that people that can't keep up with the blue bloods or the national contenders that are always the top dogs, are they going to take over college football now? That's really the question, because don't forget, USC used to be a powerhouse. Really, Texas used to be a powerhouse. Yeah. Those guys haven't won national champions in a long time.
Yeah.
But teams like Auburn has always kind of won a championship, every 10 or 12 years. They'll win one or they'll put together a good run. But longevity, it's been the blue bloods.
I think over the period of time, my statement will, be more true. But until somebody actually goes and does it, everybody's going to say, well, look, I mean, you had Ohio State win it last year, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. Those are, there's 5 different schools right there that have won a national championship in the last 10 years. And those I would consider top 10 program schools. So my statement, you're looking at me like, no, you're pushed back. Of course, you're going to push back. There's not any proof in the pudding. However, I see that's where it's going. The people that are winning their conference championships, the people that are getting the recruits and the coaches and the people who are wanting to stay. I mean, you've seen the vacancies. Nobody jumped to that Florida job other than Summerall, and he come from a group of 5 team. The coaches aren't, other than Lane, nobody was absolutely dying to get to their destination, it seemed like.
No, and you got to look at it. Jeffrey, what do you think about Texas Tech? I mean, they're one of the teams that is not a blue blood, but they spent the money. They got who they think is a great coach, and they got the portal, and they spent money. And that's what they've done. And Robert Griffin III today said that Texas Tech is going to win the national championship.
Wow. Okay, I can see them beating Oregon because the 4 plays the 5, and maybe winning one more game, and that'll put them in the national championship. But I don't think they win it all. I just don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see them beating Oregon.
But they're paying for players, and they've been kind of like that school kind of in waiting. I mean, let's be honest. The amount of recruits that are coming out of Texas is almost mind-boggling, and they're filling up TCU, SMU, Texas A&M, and now Texas Tech. They're sprawled out all over the place. Even the starting quarterback for the Gators is from Texas.
Yeah, somebody's got to fall, though. I mean, and maybe it has been TCU because they're not as top-notch as they used to be. SMU made the playoff last year. They didn't make the playoff this year, had a couple of good wins. Somebody's going to have to fall because, obviously, Texas is always going to get the recruits. A&M is getting their recruits. And now you've got Texas Tech getting the recruits. And then Oklahoma, they try to get over there, and everybody else tries to get over there. So really, when you look at it, somebody from that group, the SMU, Texas Tech, TCU, Texas A&M that you named, somebody's got to give in and not be as strong.
We say this, but, there's 12 FBS teams out of Texas right now because Sam Houston State is now moved up to the level. All those 12 teams, 11 of them have played in a conference championship. Texas A&M is the only one who hasn't in century.
Wow. And they almost found themselves right into a championship.
Yep.
One game away.
Wow. That's crazy. But remember what Texas Tech did with their softball program? They spent $1 million on the girl from Stanford, and she took them single-handedly all the way to the national championship. They lost, but she did take them all the way to the national championship in softball, and it turned that program around, and it wouldn't surprise me if next year they come right back because I think she's got one more year of eligibility left.
Yeah, it's easy to keep them softball girls. It's not necessarily they got the Olympics. They don't have professionals, so yeah, you can keep them.
Well, they got a professional, but it's not a lucrative deals like they do with the football.
Yeah, she's probably making more money in NIL than she would in the next level of softball, to be honest with you. So yeah, keeping them together would probably be a little easier to go on a big run, no doubt about it.
You know who keeps you together and keeps you going on the run? Auto Nation Ford in Panama City Beach. You want to see those guys? 730 West 15th Street, right there by the railroad tracks. You don't want to not pass by without looking at their inventory. They've got brand new vehicles. It is phenomenal. All of the vehicles that they have. They've got Expeditions. They've got F-150s. They've got super cabs, crew cabs, single cabs, all of the above. You want to see a good vehicle? Go see those guys at Auto Nation Ford in Panama City. Brandon, tell us about Recommended Collision Center.
Yeah, so Recommended Collision Center is a body shop or a collision center right in Panama City. We're family owned, locally owned. Love to take care of everybody. We give free estimates. We had somebody come in today that, they had an older model vehicle, not necessarily all the body was all great, but they're like, man, these headlights, I can't see at nighttime. They oxidize. What we do, we got them a new set of headlights. We were able to put those things in, and it honestly made their car look brand new, and they were able to see. So something as simple as that, or things that we're able to do. It doesn't have to be, you backed in your mailbox, or your kid hit it, or your wife hit it, or whatever. It can be something so simple. So if you just have any questions about your vehicle, just come see us at 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City, Florida, 850-763-2471.
Those guys do great work.
I got a new one, Brandon. All right, so when it rains really hard, the car won't start.
Really? Interesting. This is a true story?
Yeah.
His story.
So I think there's a leak and water is getting in and shorting it out.
Yeah, my employee had one time his cow cover, so that's right above the hood between the windshield. He didn't put his cow cover right there. Well, all the water runs off your windshield right into it and fried his wiring harness, and it did not start. So yeah, things like that can happen. With your door handle and that, man, come on by. Let me look at it. Let me scan that thing up and see if I can help you out.
Preach.
And if I can, I'll slide you right over to Auto Nation if it's anything mechanical, and they would get that thing worked up.
My van was built for Recommended.
There we go, baby.
That's exactly right. We're excited to share that registration for Panama City Little League Spring 2026 season is officially open. This year's offerings include baseball and softball programs for the boys and girls ages 4 to 12, along with a co-ed T-ball division for our youngest players. Registration is now until January the 10th. The season dates are March the 7th through May 16th, 2026. To register a player or sign up as a volunteer or a coach, you don't have to be a coach to be a volunteer. You can just be a volunteer, help out with the kids, wrangle them in, because, man, they run all over the place, and keep little Johnny from picking flowers in the outfield. So either way, go to registration.bluesombrero.com/85161 for registration. We'll put that on our website and our Facebook page as well. Go sign up for Panama City Little League. They will get you going. It'll have a great time for the kids this spring. So either way, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Heisman race and who we believe is going to win the Heisman. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
They're looking at the situation saying, if we can't play in this playoff, we've earned a spot in, why should we go and play in a bowl that is essentially meaningless? Bowl season used to be everything for college football. Now, if you're not in the playoff, it's like, oh yeah, I'll throw it on while I'm baking some muffins in the background. And I don't blame Notre Dame for trying to make a statement here.
Evan Canty and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Toyotathon is on at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 1.99% APR on a new Camry and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 3.49% APR on a new Corolla and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 1.99% on a new Tacoma, plus $1,000 in holiday cash. And 1.99% on a new Tundra, plus you'll get $1,000 in holiday cash. Shake up your holidays at Toyotathon.
Offers expire January 5th. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Your home for college football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's going to be the Troy Trojans versus the Jacksonville State Gamecocks in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Tuesday, live from Montgomery, Alabama, we'll have coverage starting at 8. Can Troy's defense and recent solid performance overcome GSU's strong conference play and turnover margin? Listen live on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Climb into our TM and jump into the chat. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is live on Facebook. Interact with Paul and other sports fanatics. Now, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live and local and worldwide in the CBC Construction Studio. Thanks for listening today on this beautiful Friday in Panama City Beach, Florida. You want to call in, you can. We still got time. You can text in as well, 850-215-6290. We got Jeffrey on the phone. We got Brandon in studio with us. Tennessee Brandon, but he's being plethora Brandon today. So we're glad to have both of them here with us. We've got to talk about it, the Heisman Trophy candidates. Now, they've got more. They released the list of 10 today, and obviously it's really just for show to me. But really, you've got Mendoza, you got Diego Pavia, Julian Sayin, and Jeremiah Love, all there in New York, already there. And I thought something was a little bit interesting. Diego Pavia is getting a lot of publicity, and they showed where each individual one would be sitting and have their press conference at the same time, where the press could come in and ask questions and all that. And so basically, Mendoza's was full, Pavia's was full. Julian Sayin had one reporter talking to him out of the 3 that I saw.
Yeah.
And that's an indication to me that it's probably not going to work out. But let me read some numbers real quick so we can kind of get it out and start the conversation. Mendoza threw for 2980, 240 yards rushing for 33 touchdowns passing, and then 6 rushing touchdowns. Pavia, 3192, 826 yards rushing, 27 touchdowns passing, 9 running touchdowns. And then Julian Sayin, 33-23, -2 yards rushing, and 31 touchdowns, no touchdowns on the run for him. And then Jeremiah Love, 1,372 rushing yards with 18 touchdowns, and I believe he had 6 receiving touchdowns. Jeffrey, I'll let you go first because of your age. Who do you think right now is going to be the Heisman, but who would you pick for the Heisman if you had a vote?
Diego's going to win it, and Diego's who I would pick.
Wow. Okay. All right, Brandon. What do you? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, look, 465 yards per game in the last 4 games, and 16 touchdowns in those 4 games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's not pretty good. That's
Brandon,
great.
who they played in one of those 4 games.
Oh, here we go. Wow.
Thanks, Jeff. No, I mean, I agree with Jeff. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this, and, you know, I'm running back with these numbers. It would have to be astronomical for Jeremiah Love to even be mentioned. He's in the top 4, but I don't think he has a chance in this running.
No.
You know, it's going to be between the quarterbacks, Mendoza, Pavia, and Sayin. And I'm looking at this top 10. Do you notice something about this top 10? You notice a team that might pop up, you know, maybe more than twice in the top 10 candidates? How about Ohio State? They have 3 top 10 finalists. Okay? So you're looking at Julian Sayin has every tool in his tool belt. I mean, he has got every athlete at his disposal. I think a big reason why he's up there. That's why I would go with Pavia. You're looking at Vanderbilt, man. He has made Vanderbilt absolutely relevant. As much as, you know, I'm not – Vanderbilt's from Tennessee, okay? I'm a fan of Tennessee. I'm not necessarily a fan of Vanderbilt. However, he has made them relevant when he hasn't been relevant. I mean, you have heard the word Vanderbilt, 100 times this year, more than you've heard over the last 10, 15, 20 years. You know, with his running, his throwing, his touchdowns, I mean, he has, 36 total touchdowns? His completion percentage is only, you know, a few points less than Sayin. I mean, I think he is the most decorated athlete of the 3 or 4 top. So I would pick him, and I think he is going to win.
Wow. Okay. So I think Diego Pavia is not going to win it. I think Mendoza is going to win the award. I think Pavia probably deserves it. I think just because being on the number 1 team, I know he doesn't have he's got less yards rushing, he's got less passing yards, but to take a team like Indiana undefeated, I think that's going to be weighing on a lot of people's minds. So for me, yes, I think Diego Pavia deserves it. I think he should win it. But I believe that they're going to go with Mendoza. And I think it's just going to be because of being undefeated and not losing ball games. And, you know, I that's what I think. I think with Pavia, everybody knows what you're going to get. I think some people don't like that he's 26 years old. I'm kidding.
I think he's
24.
3 or 24.
Yeah, I think he's 24. He's the same age as Bo Nix, if that puts any
some perspective on it. Yeah, a little bit.
And so, you know, with that going forward, I think that's what's going to help Mendoza. I think Mendoza came out of nowhere. So either way, we're going to go to the Red 70s phone line. We got Chris on the line. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great. How y'all doing this evening?
Man, we're doing fantastic. What you got going on today, Chris?
Oh, I'm just on my way to a Christmas party, so you're going to help me kill about 9 minutes before I get the longboard.
There we go.
Yep. So, anyways, sorry, I don't mean to stop the Heisman talk, but I had a couple points from last segment that I wanted to bring up and talk about real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. So one of the things is, LSU Jeff was talking about how Texas has all the good recruits, right? Has more recruits than other people, and I'm just going to add on to that. Back in 2008, 2009, there was a study done when there were all the bankruptcies were going on and everything. Mm-hmm. You know how many blue-collar jobs Michigan and Pennsylvania lost during that time, and then how many good football players left those states because of it? And it just went socioeconomically. A lot of the best football players, their parents are blue collar workers. You know,
yeah.
It just is what it is. So it gives a lot of credence to where's a lot of money going for jobs, right? Where's a lot of money going right now? Leaving California, where they're going to Texas. A lot of jobs are opening up in Texas, so a lot more people are going there, and that obviously is one of and it's football crazy. That's why Ohio is still the way it is because it's football crazy.
Yep.
They love football from little kids all the way on. They got parents watching little kids football, and making sure that the coaches are coaching correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's obviously happening in Texas too. So, follow the money, you follow the parents, you follow the kids. That's where a lot of stuff's going. Also, I think Brandon's right in that we're going to see more champions. You're not going to see as many repeat. I know this year it might happen, but I just still think that the NIL, you're not going to be able to pay everybody on NIL. There's going to be a lot of teams that are able to pick. So let's say that the third best lineman on Texas will be the first best lineman at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to get paid twice as much at Florida than he did at Texas, why is he going to stay at Texas? I feel like it's going to open up a reverse trade kind of.
Yeah.
As opposed to you're just going to be able to pay for everybody. I feel like there's going to be people that feel like they're not getting their fair share, so they're going to go somewhere else. And just like NFL free agency, So I feel like that's part of it. And then also, you mentioned those 5 teams that were national champions. Well, when was the last time, before Kirby Smart, when was the last time Georgia was a national champion?
Exactly.
When was the last time Clemson was a national champion? When was the last time Michigan was a national champion?
Exactly.
So they are blue bloods, but they're not like before Kirby Smart got to Georgia, everyone would say Florida's a better job than Georgia,
Yeah.
And when Urban Meyer was there, people would say that Florida was a better job. Now who's saying Florida's a better job than Georgia?
Right.
It's just cyclical. I feel like it goes in ebbs and flows. If Lane Kiffin starts winning national championships at LSU, people might start saying LSU's a better job than Alabama.
Yeah.
It's just and then Alabama, they hadn't won a national championship since '92 before Saban got there. So I think it goes cyclical. I think there's enough money for everyone to get their national championship and burn the place down like Jim Harbaugh did. So,
good gracious.
You know what, Chris? I think you're right. I think you hit that nail on the head on all of that. I agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot more parity, across the board. I just think these bigger schools are going to somehow, some way, garner more money to bring them in, and you won't see the depth, but you'll definitely see the stars.
Yeah, like right now, until we get this quote-unquote salary cap, and we're not having, big schools like those Texas schools, like, the Ohio States, the Georgias, the Alabamas, who literally have, it seems to have infinite money and donors, and they can just throw it around because there's no rules, honestly. It's the wild, wild west of college football, and it's pay to play, and you can see, you're looking at the playoffs, it's the people with the most money who have the highest recruits, and they're in there, and there's just no rules. So as soon as that salary cap quote unquote comes in, I think the talent dispersion is even more, and I think the level and playing field, like Chris said and I said, that you're going to have different champions come about just because of that. So I agree.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thanks for the call, my friend. Have a safe trip and have a great Christmas party over there at Longboards. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all too. Y'all have a great evening. Have a great weekend.
You too, Chris. Buddy. So, I agree with him all the way. We've got about a minute left. I just wanted to make a mention. Tonight, I will be going over to watch Bay High play Mosley in basketball.
There we go.
So I'm excited about that. We're going to start dabbling into the basketball season. So what a way to start by going over watching Bay take on Mosley and see what happens. Jeffrey, don't want to leave without telling you, man, be careful over there in Louisiana. Just remember that things that happen late at night are usually not good.
Don't most people get married at night?
I don't know.
What are you trying to say, Jeff?
Yeah, just be careful.
Might be a bad occurrence.
All right, Jeffrey. Well, be careful, buddy. We'll see you on Monday. Brandon, when you look at all of the stuff that's happening, we could be possibly talking about a Michigan head football coach before the weekend's over.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be an interesting next week.
It's going to be great. Hey, guys, that's it for us today. Have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday, hopefully with a lot of stuff to talk about. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. See you Monday.
Northwest Florida.
Colin Calvert. Not everybody in life deserves to be at the grown-up table. And I don't have any interest about Tulane and James Madison, and I've never fallen for that nonsense. All I cared about